Hey there guys, Skolzy here from Infamous Warfare, and today I'm going to be giving you another topical commentary, and today's topic is going to be based on first fights. Now, the other day I was on my way to somewhere and I was listening in to a group conversation. It was a group of school kids and they was talking about this fight that they had seen today and or that day. And it sort of took me back to my thoughts on my first fights. And I'm not a big fighter. I try to avoid conflict whenever I can. But this was one of those situations where it wasn't going to go away and it needed to be dealt with. And there was a few occasions in school where I did have to sort of prove that I wasn't a coward and I was going to stick up for myself if need be. But this one is the first fight I did have, and it did get a bit heated, and it was actually during my GCSEs, which was a pretty bad time to be fighting, as I could have been kicked out of my GCSE for it. And basically what happened was we was on a break, and myself and a few friends were sitting around, and I had a football with me, and it somehow it got loose, and a young pupil, I think it was like a year below me or something like that, picked it up, and I called for it back and he just wasn't giving it back, and I just sort of said, oh, come on, like, give it back. And he was like, make me. And from them words on, that's when you know something's going to go on. And I was like, look, come on, don't fuck about, give me the ball. And he wasn't. He was like, he must have been looking for some trouble. So I was like, alright, so like, what's going to happen now then? And it was just a sort of thing. I don't even know how it came about getting into a fight. It just ended up turning into this fight, and I can't even remember who threw the first punch, whether it was me or him, but it started, like, blows started going, and I was punching him, obviously in the head, and he was trying to punch me. I've got like the equal amount in sort of thing, and it sort of split up at midpoint, and then he was just going mental. He was like going, hit me, hit me. And I was like, look, I can't even be bothered with this no more. And he was just going, come on, hit me. And at that point, I was just like, oh my God, this kid is jarring. And without thinking, I literally lunged forward and headbutted this kid in the nose. And I'm not even, I don't think anyone was expecting it, because it was just so out of character for me, and not something people would think I'd be capable of. I'm not like being big-headed or nothing, but I literally just leaned forward and smashed him in the head with my head, or in his nose with my head. And pretty sure done some damage to his nose, because it was bleeding. And then the fight like ensued again. It got more heated, but it only lasted for like another minute or something like that, because I think the kid we both just sort of, you do just run out of steam. That's the whole, that's the funny thing about fights, like how short fights are, is just amazing. Like all the hype up towards it, all the, like the build up, the eruption, and then it's just over within like a few minutes, or maybe even less than that. They don't even last that long, unless you've got some amazing amount of stamina and you want to keep going for ages, or you're just not putting in enough strength for the blow. But so yeah, it all got split up and that, and obviously I went back to do my GCSEs, and I had blood on my shirt, and everyone was like, oh, he's bleeding, and I was like, no, I'm not actually bleeding, because it's not me, it's from his nose. And so like the damage got done to him, and it I mean, like, it was sort of in the end an even fight, but I think my side shone out a bit more from where I did the headbutt. And luckily I didn't get kicked out my GCSEs, and carried on and went on to complete them. But just through the following year, I was just always getting heckled from his mates trying to say that he beat me in the fight, and it was just like, oh, Colt, it's just not even worth trying to bring it up again, because it's like just trying to get another fight started. And like I said at the start, I try and avoid conflict, and normally I can sense when conflict's going to happen, so I will try and avoid it. But I mean, I think it's always good to let people know that you're not afraid to stick up for yourself when need be, and sort of like, what people say, always beware of the quiet ones, and I was always a quiet one. And then towards the end of the years, it was just like you had to start showing that you're not scared of people. And I even came to a sort of mini, it wasn't even a fight, it was more of like a standoff between someone who was at my age, maybe not even 5 foot, up to a guy who was like near on 6 foot for his age, and I was having to defend myself about that in a situation, because I can't even remember the actual story. If I do happen to remember it, I might bring it up in the future. But yeah, that was sort of the situation. It just made me laugh when I was listening to these guys, or these young kids on the journey that I was taking, talking about this fight that they'd seen, and sort of took me back to my days as a youngster. I sound so old now, but we in no way condone any violence. It's not good to be violent. I suppose it's not going to help you in your future. Like I said, I try and avoid conflict at any chance. Really, I don't really like to try and get involved in fights. Not because I'm scared. It's not worth it really, and I don't think it's worth it in terms of depending on the career you want to take as well. Like, it's not going to be good if you've got a criminal record for fighting. But I suppose whatever happens nowadays. You do have to stick up for yourself in some situations. And yeah, that is it for this commentary, guys. I do hope you have enjoyed it. I'm going to be bringing you more topical commentary soon. If you've had any sort of conflicts yourself, feel free to leave comments in the box and let us know about that. And hopefully be seeing you soon. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.